I'll talk about some of my experiences with child abuse and how I decided to take a big step and stand up for myself. How I took control of the situation I was in. When I was a kid, I was in love with my mother. She was my hero. I never had a dad to be there, so she was all I had. I would go to school and get home with grades no lower than B+. I was a smart young kid. When I would get home, I would always notice that my mother had a specific routine. She would leave us at night with a nanny, then come home, sleep, and kiss me goodnight, mostly every day. There was times when she was actually there, but it wasn't ever the same as getting home. Seeing a mother that would spread her arms wide open, waiting for you to open them, waiting for you to jump in them. I would notice things no other kid could at 6 years of age. I noticed that the time she would be at home, there would be a certain smell, smoke, beer, and another odd smell I couldn't relate to. I would notice that she wouldn't look at me in the eye when she would talk to me. She wouldn't tell me to go to my room more often. She would tell me to go to my room more often. She would move her mouth like she had something in her mouth, and I would notice her not sleeping well, looking more tired and anxious, angrier than usual. One day, some cops came to school and started explaining the names of the drugs and the symptoms. I suddenly realized that my mom was doing drugs. I listened to the consequence of the drugs and how they would kill, so I started to cry. I tried to hide it from him by going to the restroom. That same day I came home and woke my mom up. I started to question her. As usual, addicts have a denial deal going on that I wasn't well aware of. I believed her because my lovely mother would have never lied to me. I let it go by for weeks, then I started to notice people that lie and get caught, so I started to notice how people's faces, the gestures, tone and speed and voice would all change when they lied. I came home that day and asked her again. I suddenly noticed the pattern and placed them all. I confronted her and told her about the consequences of drugs and that I didn't want her to die and leave my side. She suddenly started to cry with me, but it was all for nothing. I realized she still continued with the same symptoms, acting the way she would with drugs. I confronted my mother a couple of times until I got tired and decided to run away, thinking it would make her want to change. She would always search for me and find me every time I would run away. A year later, my brother came along, and I had to be his dad. My mother was hardly there, and I would change his diaper, feed him, change him, shower him, and teach him. I was being a father at a young age. I was 7 years old, taking care of a newborn. I had to learn to adapt, watch, and care for my brother. I was neglected from my own childhood because I couldn't go outside and play with kids. Think like kids or act like kids and get in trouble like kids. I had the obligation to raise my brother. I had to be his dad, or else who would? I couldn't run away anymore. I couldn't leave him alone. I had to be strong for him. Years passed and we went from aunt to aunt, uncle to uncle, and they couldn't stand us. We would argue, fight, and they just couldn't take it. There came the time where I and my brother were old enough to know what we wanted to do. So I took the decision to run away from home. Only this time, I brought my brother along. I decided that I wanted to get in foster care because I felt like it was the only way out of the life we were living in. I decided to leave my brother with one of the aunts I trusted the most to go in foster care alone because I didn't want my brother to go through something that might have affected him. It took a lot for me to leave my brother behind. I didn't know how I was going to be in foster care. I went in blind, with doubts, scared, worried, with low self-esteem and weak overall. After all of those years of lies, arguments, beatings, put-downs, and disappointments, I had decided to set a boundary. I was tired of all of it, so I said from now on, no one will step on me. No one will lie to me. No one will beat on me. No one will make me feel bad. So I started to act hard, making me get in trouble. I started to smoke, get in fights, attack in restrooms. argue with older people, and skip classes. I then realized I was heading to the life my mother was living in. And I stopped to think. I came to the conclusion that the past was following me, but I was letting it control me even after being away from her. I then decided I would not let my mother, my first love, my once hero, manipulate me without her being there to tell me what to do. I said I will now live the life I want to live. I want to be that person they talk good about. I want to be that person that looks good in others' eyes. I want to be that person they talk good about. I want to be that person that looks good. A person that is not afraid to talk, to speak out for what he believes. I want to be someone in life. I want to have a life. So I decided to make a goal list. Where I knew what was in it for me. My wishes were get in sports, build my self-esteem, find out what I'm good at and master it, make close friends, find that one special girl, finish high school and quickly move to college and study what I'm good at. Graduate from college and get a career where I can save money to buy a car, a house, and bring my brother with me. Bring my mother into rehab so that she can leave the drugs and get her a house where she could receive us with her arms open, expecting us to run and hug her. Those are still the goals I have in mind, up to right this moment. No one can or will deviate me from what I want, because I have now set my mind to it. That's my wish, and no one will ever make it change. I'm a man who never gave up on his dream. A man who was bullied and yelled at. A man who stood up for his brother no matter how many times he got his ass kicked. I'm a man that sticks to his word and will never lie to you. Never bully you, never put you down. Never tell you that you could not do it. I'm a man who will stand up for you and will never let you down when you need help the most. I might have a hard time to understand or to answer, but I will get you what you need. I will help you stand up. I will help you clean out your tears running down from your cheeks. I'll be that one person that will never let you go. I thank God for giving me the strength and knowledge in the right time, the power of the will to keep my word, and the chance to live and help the people that I help. I have been abused in every way that you could possibly imagine. That didn't stop me from standing up for myself, for what's right, for the people that I love, for speaking up when I needed help, or my brother. I didn't let the abuse, the words, the sadness, the weakness, or lack of confidence take me down. Instead, I said, I will stand up and rise. I will make my life and the people around me live in pride for what they want, like, and need. I help them stand up for themselves and make them better people than what they think they can be. But I can't do this alone. If you have been through problems or anything similar to what I have, please stand up and rise with me. Please help me guide and help the people that are afraid to speak up and say, I got this. I will make it. I need help from others to say I will change a life today. They will be successful. Someone that believes that everyone is meant to succeed in someone in life and be someone in life. I need for you to not be afraid and say I will make my life what I want it to be. I make myself into a better person. Or try to. We need you out here in the real world, where we can make a difference for others. If you're with me, please say I will.
I will.
Because I don't want to stand alone knowing y'all can make a difference with me. That's about all I got.
You know what? Talk about courage. Joe Garcia, that was a fantastic story that you shared with us. It was inspirational, and it was something that we all need to hear. You've been through this, and we're so proud of you. And your heart is bigger than anybody else's, I think, in here, because you're still willing to give back and want to help your mother after everything you've been through and been through the system and all. You know what? Joe Garcia is our hero today. Thank you, Joe, so very, very much. again, Joe, for sharing that story with us. It's a story that none of us will soon forget. Just amazing. I think he's quite the writer as well. I mean, I don't know if any of y'all paid attention to some of those transitions in his story, but beautiful writing too. I would just recommend that you'd write a book, because I think with your book, you could help so many kids. Perhaps, you could have somebody help you write something, Joe. I'm just saying, I don't mean to put pressure in front of you, in front of everybody here, but seriously, I as a journalist, I really think that you could write a book and sell it and do very well with it, Joe. Thank you again very much, Joe.